Christian rock versus Ray J, when redemption is disrupted. Everyone anticipated a quiet panel. Faith after fame. Regaining tranquility in the spotlight was the focus. It was supposed to be a relaxed sit-down. It's Christian, rock, Ray J, two preachers. That went viral, and a few other influencers. It was live-streamed across 3 platforms. Interludes from a gospel choir and dim lighting. The audience was prepared to discuss growth, mistakes, forgiveness, and healing. However, the vibe changed the instant Christian and Ray J met eyes. Ray J was in the middle of describing how his recent baptism had enabled him to overcome his old troubles. Christian's eyes were calm on the inside but blazed as she cocked her head. "You're out here discussing God's grace and forgiveness." Her voice was sharp but calm as she spoke. "However, it was you that played puppeteer, humiliated women and blackballed others. We're supposed to forget when you get baptized." The air became tense. The audience fell silent, with the exception of one individual who could be heard saying, "Oh no, here we go." Ray J hesitated. He remained silent for a moment, simply leaning back in his chair and blinking slowly, as if he was unsure whether to respond or keep the peace. To rehash past turmoil is not why I am here. At last, Ray J spoke, even turning to look at the panel's pastors as though requesting support. "I'm here to attempt to move on, not to bring up the things for which I've already expressed regret." Christian shook her head and crossed her arms. "What about the folks you harmed behind closed doors, even though you publicly apologized? Or are they not taken into account?" A young viral preacher from Atlantic, one of the pastors, cleared his throat in an attempt to act as a mediator. "Remember that this panel is about mending, sister and brother?" But Christian wasn't finished. "While healing is, it doesn't mean acting like nothing occurred." Though not loud, her voice was more piercing than if she had been shouting. "You all like to claim that God is forgiving, but where is the true responsibility? Because there are those women out there who are not only hurt, but completely shattered. Mental health issues, destroyed careers, broken. Meanwhile, people receive book deals and brand new baptisms." Ray J's mouth tightened, with his hands linked. In front of him, he leaned forward. "I'm not flawless now. Never said I was," he said, raising his voice a little, but not to the point of shouting. "However, I've put a lot of effort into making things right. Time travel is impossible for me. I'm limited to showing folks are aware of my sincere desire to change. Indeed, you wish to continue evaluating me based on my history. You have that? Right? However, don't pretend to be an expert on every aspect. You don't." Christian's lips moved as if she were suppressing a grin or a swear. "Correct." Flatly, she said, "Particulars. That's what is always excluded." Now the room was electrified. It was tense enough that you could practically hear the cameras focusing. Everyone watching the live feed is eager to capture the event for their social media accounts. A wellness coach with a sizable YouTube following, one of the other influencers, attempted to change course. "Perhaps we could discuss how you two have changed since then. You've struggled in public too." Christian remained unflinching. "Yes, I have. And I totally own mine. I have never acted like someone I'm not out here. With me, you get what you see." Ray J smiled now, but it was without humor, and he shook his head slowly. "You say that as if I'm not genuine, as if I haven't experienced real things either. As it is, I haven't lost any relatives, friends, or money. Attempting to do it correctly." Kristen's voice remained firm, but her gaze softened somewhat. "Then, perhaps you ought to say that. Give up using them. Be honest with people." Things changed once again at that point. Something harsh, yet not quite hostility. Ray J exhaled deeply and reclined once more, looking up at the lights as if he needed to collect himself. "I worked in the dirt a lot," at last Ray J said. "Now it's quieter. I was hurt. People played games, lied, and cheated to get attention and influence. I'm trying now, but I won't excuse any of it. It's attempting so hard. Not only for cameras, but also for myself and my children." A long pause ensued. Christian's expression softened and became more contemplative. She unfurled her arms. "All right," she muttered. "That's the first thing you said tonight that actually felt real." Finally, speaking out was the moderator, a television presenter, who is accustomed to handling precisely these types of difficult situations. "Maybe this is exactly what faith after fame looks like," she uttered slowly. "Calling each other out and being honest, even when it's uncomfortable, is more important than having a flawless speech or getting everyone to agree." A few people in the audience clapped initially, followed by others. Chrisean and Ray J sat back. In their chairs, their gazes still fixed on each other, but their energy had changed. It's more akin to mutual regard than friendship. To those who were still standing despite having witnessed the worst aspects of celebrity, after that, the remainder of the panel became quiet. They then discussed therapy, forgiveness, and reestablishing trust. Messier actual. Not in the glitzy Instagram quotation sense. Social media was then inundated with video footage of the panel. Naturally, Chrisean and Ray J's altercation was the first to go viral. However, when more individuals listened to the entire debate, another thing became apparent. The way two shattered people refused to back down, said tough things, and didn't totally destroy each other. The hashtag faith-after-fame wasn't simply popular by the end of the evening because of the play, because people could relate to the tension, the honesty, and the hope. It became popular. And perhaps that is the essence of true redemption. Not a flawlessly planned return, but speaking the truth while standing in the midst of your own incomplete story. In any case, silence descended in the room. Phones are up. Viewers of live streams increased. Ray J attempted to dismiss it with humor. "That was a long time ago. Chrisean wouldn't have it, but I'm now living in faith. Without responsibility, faith is merely public relations." For context, let's take a moment now. Ray J has appeared at church conferences, gospel label debuts, and public redemption tours wearing white suits. Chrisean, who has seen her own viral highs and lows, said she will never forget a particular instance from 2021 when Ray J allegedly informed her backstage that she was talented but untidy. She was now stating how many the audience had been. Considering, is Ray J merely rebranding, or has he truly changed? She didn't yell when Chrisean took the mic once more. She didn't spiral, she maintained her composure. Have you ever expressed regret to the woman? Are you attempting to pray it away now that your reputation is in jeopardy? Or did you take advantage of it? Ray J made an effort to remain calm. God is forgiving. I don't have to live with guilt for him. Chrissy, however, pushed. Erase the past. The panel was off the rails at that time. The pastors even reclined. The crowd was not progressing despite the moderator's best efforts. Ray J then took an unexpected action. He took his phone out. This is the problem with healing culture. He said everybody wants to hold the next person accountable, but nobody wants to confess their own demons. Then he held up his screen to the crowd. A DM from Chrisean dated just 4 weeks earlier. "Ray, I respect your new wave. I'm trying to grow. 2. If you've got time, I'd love to talk off camera about God stuff." Ray J looked up. That's her right there, reaching out. "So don't come on this stage acting like I'm fake." The room didn't know whether to gasp or clap. Some said Ray J exposed her. Others said Chrisean's points still stood because personal growth doesn't erase public harm. Ray J versus Chrisean rock. When faith became Prit, it started as a peaceful panel. A spiritual influencer round called Faith After Fame, Ray J, Chrisean rock. 2 viral pastors and others gathered to discuss growth and redemption. But once Chrisean locked eyes on Ray J, it shifted. You talk about God's grace, but you blackballed people, humiliated women, and got baptized, and we're supposed to forget. Ray J tried to keep calm, saying, "That's in the past. I'm walking." In Faith Now, Chrisean wasn't moved. Faith without accountability is just PR. Phones out. 3K viewers on the live stream. Then Ray J did what no one expected. He exposed a private DM from Chrissy, showing she'd asked him for spiritual guidance just weeks before. You don't get to be the victim and the villain. In the same testimony, he said Chrisean clapped back. I reached out because I wanted to grow. Clearly, I reached out to the wrong person. Then Ray J raised the stakes. Did you ever apologize to that woman you hit in Miami? The crowd froze. Chrisean said nothing. She eventually walked off stage. No words, fire in her eyes. But it didn't end there. Chrisean went live, no glam, no filter. Revealed more receipts. After her DM, Ray J allegedly asked her to go on his podcast to bless both our brands. It was never spiritual. It was strategic, she said. Then came the biggest blow. Midway through the panel, as things seemed to settle into a theme of redemption, faith, and moving forward, Chrisean spoke again. But this time, her tone was colder, measured. Her eyes didn't just hold that spark of confrontation. They held something heavier. I wasn't going to do this, she said slowly, tapping on her phone that rested on the load table between the panelists. But since we're talking truth and accountability, ... The room tensed again. Ray J's posture stiffened instantly, his eyes narrowing slightly. Chrisean held up her phone and gestured to the production team. Run that on the screen. There was a confused shuffle as the moderator tried to step in, asking Chrisean, what exactly? But it was too late. The large LED panel behind them lit up with grainy hotel surveillance footage. The time was clear 3 months ago. Late at night, the video showed Ray J walking down a hallway, head down, cap pulled low. He stopped and glanced in both directions before turning to face a woman who was standing outside a door. The contour of him and the tattoos on his arms were clearly visible, even though the video wasn't very good. Ray J then leaned down and gave her a kiss as plain as day. Gasps, whispers, and the flashes of audience members' phones' cameras filled the room. Ray J's jaw tightened as his face froze, his eyes fixed on the screen. That's an intern of his, Chrisean stated bluntly. Quiet rage in an even but heavy voice. He allegedly mentors one of the same women. 3 months ago, in a hotel room. Late at night, the moderator made another attempt. It was already out there, but perhaps we should put this on hold. Silently, the video continued to loop. When Ray J did speak, it was in a low, frustrated tone. This isn't how it appears. Chrisean's eyebrow went up. Really? Because from here it appears to be rather obvious. Ray J sat with his hands clenched and elbows resting on his knees. I admitted that I wasn't flawless. Although I've been open about my errors, I'm bringing this up now as we discuss God and personal development. Chrisean, what's that truly for? She didn't recoil. It's for the viewers who must be aware. Don't let the rebrand fool you. A crucifix around your neck. When no one is looking, don't erase what you're doing. Having been silent up until this point, one of the pastors finally raised his voice in a firm yet composed manner. Ray J, brother, is that video authentic? Exhaling forcefully through his nostrils, Ray J looked first at the audience and then back at the panel. It's difficult, but it's real. That revelation came as a second shock. Even those on stage moved around in there. Chairs, Ray J went on, his voice now heavier. I tripped. I will tell the truth. I don't take pride in it. I've been working to organize my home, but I'm still working on fixing my shortcomings because I'm a human. There was silence for a minute. The entire action seemed to pause between the beats before and after the revelation. Chrisean then spoke. Once more, but with a softer tone. All I wanted was that. Not the sanitized version, but the actual one. People are suffering and attempting to believe in second chances. But what good is it if we aren't honest about where we stand? At last, the moderator took over once more, trying to reassemble the discussion in a steady voice. Although it is awkward, perhaps this is the kind of openness that is needed. I appreciate you owning it, Ray J. I appreciate you advancing the discussion, Chrisean. The panel steadied itself gradually. General discussions about atonement gave way to something more direct and honest. How your past is not immediately erased by growth. How your tail doesn't end when you slide. People continued to pay attention despite all the missteps. Rather than declining, the live stream numbers increased. Because it wasn't simply another panel of celebrities at that time. It was unscripted, unped, and real life. The video went viral before the end of the evening. However, so had the entire discussion that ensued. Even though Ray J's reputation suffered, the comments also showed an odd sort of respect for him. For honesty, not for perfection. Unfiltered at last. Ask GPT in chat. The internet went down. Trinity TV halted Ray's production within a day. New religious program. Soul Ray, his podcast, lost a sponsor. Influencers and gospel musicians openly took sides. Ray J's wife, Princess Love, fell silent. There were rumors of lawsuits and divorce negotiations. It's what's summed up in a viral tweet. I have never witnessed anything more 2025 than the argument between Christian Rock and Ray J over who is more saved. Jonathan McReynolds, a gospel artist, wrote on social media, "Accountability isn't hate. It is a manifestation of holiness." Other influential people weren't so certain. "This is not a ministry," stated Pastor Trey. "This is mayhem that has been commercialized. When do we stop letting people use Jesus as a PR blanket?" retorted Sister Shekinah. The gospel music industry is now completely silent. Sponsors are pulling away. Ray J has not yet given a direct response. One mysterious anecdote was shared by Princess Love's buddy. "What you attempted to baptize in branding will be revealed by God." Christian Rock versus Ray J, the fallout is trending once more. Although Christian's name is popular, the discussion has changed. In a world of faith-based branding, fans now wonder if she is the only one who is authentic. Moment that went viral. Chrisean versus Ray J is a TikTok mashup. It is the battle of the Bibles. 12 hours with 7 views. Best comment. Sermons are not what this generation wants. They're looking for receipts. More harm. Ray J apparently lost his gig as a guest speaker at 2 churches. Posts from Princess Love. "I believe what I saw. No explanation. Everyone knows what it means." The final clip. The Shade Room posts a longer version of Ray J's hotel hallway video. This time with audio. Ray J whispering, "Keep it between us." Not trying to mess things up again. Public image shattered. A dot. Industry reactions. Christian influencers are split. Sponsors drop out. Ray J's camp scrambles for damage control. Chrisean's next move. She teases a full sit-down interview called Chrisean versus the Industry, the uncensored confessional. A truth special about fame, false prophets, and her refusal to stay silent. 3 big questions. Will Princess officially leave Ray J? Will Christian? Special blow the lid off gospel celebrity culture. Can Ray J ever recover his man of God image?